Alright, first problem. Given a string S, find the longest palindromic substring in S. So a palindrome is a string that is the same forwards and backwards. So in this example string here, BAB would be a palindrome because it's the same whether you're going BAB or BAB. And then ABBA is another example. Alright, so to solve this problem, I'm going to have a for loop, and so we're just going to be going down and basically looking at each point if we are in the middle of a palindrome. So we would start with the first index, and then we would expand one way or the other to see if characters are on either side are matching. And so we can have, so there's two, we can either have a palindrome that has odd numbers. So in this case, we'd be looking at A and then going to each side and seeing if they match up, and that would be a palindrome. We can also have it be even, and in this case we would be starting with 2 pointers on either side and checking that they're even and then going out. That would also be a palindrome. So we're just gonna go look, and then I have this function, so that will be setting pointers to I if we're looking for an odd number, and then looking on either side. And then if we want to try and see if there's an even number, then we'll have I, and then we'll have a left pointer at I and then a right pointer at I plus 1, and then doing the same thing. And then we'll have we'll be setting length depending on the length that we find, and we'll be updating it to if we find that we get a longer palindrome. So let's do it with this example. So I have my for loop, and I'll start I at 0. And then we'll do the first one, expand from middle, so we'll have left and right equal to I. And then if we can't expand the left anymore because there's nothing to the other side. So that, and technically, if a character, technically any single character would be a palindrome, but and just to simplify things, I'm not going to count that here. And so yeah, and so then if we do it with the looking for an even number, I'll do this with I, with left at I, and then right at I plus 1. And then we're just looking if the character at left and the character at right equals, and in this case, these two characters are not equal, so we don't get an expanded palindrome there. Alright, so starting with this first left and right at I, if I were to expand left and right, D and A are not equal. So then if we try doing it with like the pointer in here, basically with left and right on either side, B and A are not equal, so don't get anything going on there. So now with I at A being our middle point, and then if we expand left to 1, in this case we do have B and B match up, so we can continue to expand L is now at 0. And right is at A. And here when we get D and A don't match up, so I'm gonna return right minus left minus 1, so I have 4 minus 0 is 4 minus 1, so we have my length 1 in this case is 3 for this first condition. And then if I were to try looking for an even number palindrome, and I had left here and right here, well, these two don't match up, so I can't get a palindrome for that. So now my maximum is going to be 3. And now I have 3, oh yeah, and I have a start and end initialized point at 0. So in this case, 3 is greater than 0, and so I'm going to update my start. It's going to be 3 minus 1 is 2, divided by 2 is 1. So I minus 1, and my I is at 2. So start equals 1. And then 3, and then again we get 1. So 2 plus 1 is 3. So this would be the palindrome for that. And then we'll just continue on. We'll have I at 3 here. So we have my left and right pointer. If I expand them at either end, we have a match. So we have a palindrome here. And then B and D no longer match. So that we end at that, and so then 5 minus 1 is 4, minus 1 is 3. And so we have another palindrome with 3 characters. Since I'm just gonna keep what I had at this one, since we're looking for the largest palindrome and we haven't surpassed that maximum yet. Oh, and yeah, and then looking for a palindrome with the middle starting here. B and A don't match, so that doesn't work. So now we'll look here, and then if I were to extend left and right here, B and D don't match, so we don't get anything there. And then I plus 1, A does not match D. So move down to D. And now that we don't have anything to the right, we can no longer expand from this point. So now what I print out, so now we're going to return our substring that we get from start to end. So I have start at 1 and end at 3, so we get B. AB is our answer to the longest palindromic substring. And so then our time complexity is O of 2n. Since we're just going down, we're iterating just once through, but then doing 2 operations. So it should be O of 2n, and then space complexity is O of 1.